What is good, everybody, and welcome back to Age of Empires 2, the Vlad Dracula campaign. Last time we were here, we completed Mission 4, The Moon Rises. Basically, I don't know if you guys noticed, but I've been saying that a lot, and I'm trying to not. But it's hard. Um, so in the mission, it was a defense mission. We had to protect against sieges on multiple castles, multiple little bases around the map from varying enemies. Like I think one was Vlad's brother, if I remember correctly, and then the others were just Turks. Because Vlad was spending time, it was revealed, in like the Turkish courts or whatever, and so they thought it would be a good opportunity to spring an attack on him. But he was able to mobilize his forces and protect his lands, his castles, anyways. So we thought, anyways. Like the mission went off without no complications. It was an hour-long mission, which I don't understand because it was like 50. It was 60 minutes, let's just say, for mission completion. And then when I ended my recording, I was only recording for 47 minutes. So I don't understand how the game clock works here in Age of Empires 2, but it seems to be a little bit faster than, like maybe it goes at 1.25 speeds or 1.5 speeds, according to normal time, because I was 13 minutes short off of an hour, and that's with like intro, outro, exiting the game, opening the game. Like that was everything was around 47 minutes. So the mission might only took us like 40 minutes maybe. So I don't know. I don't know how time works. But if it's like 1.5 times, that would make sense. If it was 40 minutes long, would not. 60 times 3, be 180 divided by 2 would be 90. That's not how that works. Oh, I'd have to do 120 divided by 3, which is 40. Yeah. Makes sense to me mathematically, so maybe, yeah, works out 1.5 speed. Anyway, sorry, random tangent. So we did a defense mission, and then in the end scene, I guess, I was trying to remember calling it, I was calling it an end credit scene, but it's just an end scene, no credits. In the end scene, somehow, like same with the Joan of Arc one, it like didn't make sense because that's not what happened. But the one castle that Dracula was in was overrun by Turks, and Vlad still got away. And our narrator, which put my theory to rest, says that they're two different people. Saw Vlad's boat head down the river. There was a secret escape out the back of the castle. He had a boat waiting for him. And he got away, supposedly. So let's see what happens here in Mission 5, The Night Falls. Also, we've been trending towards less dragon things and more things that have to do with vampires, might I say, as the legend goes. We have these dragon things because he was related to the Order of, I think it was the Order of the Dragon, or it was some Crusader order, like under the Pope and whatever, that he was loyal to. We have some dragon stuff, but then, like, as he's kind of drifting away from that life, we have the moon rises, now we have the night falls. Like, that has stuff to do with, like, vampires. Vampires come out at night, right? Am I like the crazy guy with red lines all over his wall, like, trying to connect dots? Maybe. But, let's see what this mission has in store for us.
Finally, the ancient warrior resumed his tale. It was a long 12 years. I was alone, waiting here for signs of Dracula's return. But all I ever saw were Turkish marauders ravaging the countryside of this once beautiful land and tormenting the people. One thing kept me from despair. The last words I had heard from my lord, that he would return in the end. words to myself every day and promised myself that he would succeed. It was a fool's hope, but it was the best that I had. So I endured. Dracula had preserved enough food and water in the castle to last an entire army several years. I had begun to think that he would never return. But rumor among the locals told me differently. When I overheard the same as I spied on Turkish patrols, I became more confident. I shuddered at the sight of the land that he would return to. One day, I awoke to the thundering of hooves and the frenzied war cries of soldiers pouring down from the Carpathians. It was Dracula, at the head of a Hungarian army come at last to liberate us from the yoke of the Turks and their Wallachian puppet, Basarab Leota.
Alright, Vlad's back, baby. And looks like he's raised himself up another army, so good for him, you know, living his best life. He's got things under control, it would seem, or got his life kind of put together. So, our main objective is we must win the initial battle against the Ottoman forces. Our hints are Vlad Dracula can support pop of 200 as a Hungarian vassal. His technology tree is Magyar once more. Capture the Ottoman army's camps to weaken it considerably. The Danube River is valuable not just for fishing but also for the ability to launch naval attacks and control crossing. Oh boy. Bombard cannons are powerful. Dracula cannot initially build any, but there is a local craftsman who can. Italian condottieri and the Genoese crossbowmen are quite effective against the enemy forces. Acquire some if you can. I don't know how to speak words. My bad. Scout report says Dracula initially commands a Hungarian camp and a small force on the Danube River. The Ottoman army poses an early threat, mounting attacks from several camps south of the Danube. They will train skirmishers, night spearmen, and siege units. Hungary is your strongest ally and will support you with heavy cavalry and siege units if they can acquire a base. Guarded by a token force, the valuable Turkish fortresses of Sabak lies in the center of the map. Small Wallachian town in the northwest is eager to help Dracula reclaim the throne. The puppet, Basarab Leota, controls a few cities and fortresses northwest of Targoviste. His army consists of spearmen and skirmishers led by boyars. The greatest threat by far is from the Ottoman Empire, which is firmly entrenched in Targoviste. Its army includes janissaries, hussars, siege units, and monks. A band of Italian mercenaries is rumored to have arrived in Wallachia. Perhaps they will help you. Alright. Oh, we have to win this initial battle, I guess. You guys want to come down and help? Yeah? Okay.
Dracula drives his Turkish invaders off and retakes the fortress of Sabat.
Yeah, I did. So we got our objectives updated. We got conquer Sabak for Hungary by slaying the Ottoman garrison there, capture Ottoman military camps by destroying the tower in each. Also, we have to defeat these Ottomans in Sabak. Ah. This road's broken, this bridge I mean. This is blocked for whatever reason. Where's my mom? Oh, he's healing people. We're good. We're good. He's out there healing. He's doing his job. So let's see. Over here we have like cavalry. These elite. Oh no, they're not elite. So this looks like one of those camps. Yeah.
Igen. Roham! Előre! Támadás! Előre! Rendben. Értettem.
Just have these guys stand the ground, have these guys go.
Parancs.
We want my
Igen.
monk to
Igen,
heal
rendben,
people.
igen,
That's
értem,
all.
rendben. Roham!
Send these rams.
Szolgálat! Előre! Roham! Igen, uram. Rendben. Igen, uram. Értem, értettem.
Destroy the tower.
Támadás! Roham! Támadás!
Capture this military camp.
Előre! Roham!
Right?
Előre! Támadás! Igen. Értem, rendben.
Yeah, we captured it. Yay.
Parancs. Igen, igen, uram. Rendben. Igen, értettem. Szolgálatára.
Alright, so we captured the first camp here. We'll probably just keep running down the road and capture another camp, most likely.
Igen. Parancs. Értem, rendben. Igen, uram. Rendben. Igen, uram. Értem, rendben. Értettem.
There we go.
Szolgálatára. Igen, rendben. Roham!
Unfortunately lost the archery range here, but
Támadás!
not much I could do about it. Ottoman army was defeated, well that's good.
Parancs.
Not much I could do about it, they were too close together, so that's not what I wanted. They were too close together, so they just kind of destroyed both the tower and the archery range in this camp. But that's okay. Sure, we'll buy it. We got resources in the bank for right now. This doesn't go anywhere. This is a dead end. So now we'll just
Szolgálatára.
head up to Sabak, back up. Now that this army is defeated, our camps are all caught, and we should be able to capture the city. We actually have no units left.
Safe from the Turks. To Wallachia.
Sabak was defeated. Ride to the nearby Wallachian town to take command of it. Alright. Sabak was an ally though. Whatever. Sure.
Igen, értem, rendben. Igen, uram.
How did we
rendben.
get there then? I guess they're defeated because now it's turned over to the Hungarians is the thing. Is this bridge intact now? Is that how we get there?
Szolgálatára.
Oh, what the hell? I have 4 paladins here for no reason. This bridge is repaired now. Let's go to this Wallachian village then.
Arise, brothers, and help me overthrow the usurper. Basara Blyona.
Holy shit. Look at all the resources we got in the back there. Crazy.
Parancs.
Got 5. Oh, that's not what I wanted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Get the farms going. And you guys are already attacking my shit. Good, you love to see it.
Parancs. Értettem. Rendben. Értettem.
Jó napot.
So it looks like just
Építkezem.
do a classic base build and we'll be ready to go on from there.
Igen, igen,
So I'll see
értettem.
you guys in a little bit.
Parancs. Rendben, uram.
Alright guys, we're leading an attack here onto Basarab Leota. This is his base. He did have a little base here, which I had actually cleaned up fairly nicely, fairly easy.
Igen.
Thanks to the help of these bombard cannons, we keep getting from this dude, Walikian Craftsman.
Parancs.
They keep,
Igen.
all we had to do was attribute them 1,000 food, I think, at the beginning, and then
Bányászok.
Igen, bányászok.
they wanted to help us out by making bombard towers, so that was good. Good of them for that,
Parancs.
because we can't build them ourselves, so hey, at least we can get them somehow.
Előre.
I guess that's all his base done. Oh, there he goes.
Leota is dead!
Traitor.
Szolgálatára. Értettem. Igen, uram. Rendben.
Jó.
Igen. Igen. Támadás.
Lost one of my
Értettem,
rams.
értettem. Szolgálatára. Roham. Rendben.
5 versus 1 cannon. Cannoneers? Bombard cannons? Nice try. So yeah, all we have left is the Ottoman Empire here. Backed into this corner shouldn't be a problem. So here were the Italians, these were the Italians. Basically, oh, there I go saying it again. For 60 gold you can get Condottiero, and you can get a Genoese crossbowman for 50 gold just by clicking on it, and if you just stay on it, then it just constantly trains. 3, 4, 5.
Parancs.
So this is the Italian mercenaries that were talked about in hint report, the scouting reports, whatever.
Szolgálat.
Bombard
Rendben.
cannon is ready. The enemy will tremble as a
Seeing these they come periodically. I don't know what the time limit is. Didn't really time it, but
Szolgálat.
they come out periodically. It's honestly,
Igen. Rendben. Rendben. Értettem. Parancs. Igen, uram. Értettem.
it's not too long, so it's kind of nice.
Rendben.
But periodically they come, but it's consistent and
Szolgálat. Rendben.
it's fast. And it's nice that they don't cost anything. It cost us 1,000 gold.
Parancs. Igen. Rendben.
Don't you guys have like super range? Why are you getting up so damn close?
Igen, uram. Rendben.
Oh, well, that one's dead.
Parancs. Támadás.
It's because it's on a hill.
Előre. Értettem.
Is that why?
Igen.
I wonder.
Előre. Szolgálat. Rendben.
Oh yeah, you're not in the defense position.
Roham. Szolgálatára. Előre. Parancs. Támadás. Igen. Roham.
You should be out of its range, so I don't know
Parancs.
what was going on there.
Szolgálatára. Támadás.
How they were able to counter it.
Roham. Igen. Értem.
Yeah.
Értettem.
Oh shit, got him. Down to only 3? Son of a bitch, I just had 6. Son of a bitch.
Támadás.
The ram should be taking that out. That's good. Now we should be able to move on to... Should be able to just move into the base slowly. Should just be able to inch our way in. Yeah, let's do that. If they ever get one of our troops, they'll just be... die, they won't get converted actually. Oh yeah. Me and my war villager though, so you can come with anytime.
Bombard cannon is ready. The enemy will tremble.
Thank you. And the Hungarians have been surprisingly helpful as well. Their own siege equipment and their own small force of troops they lead. Been surprisingly well. Surprisingly helpful. Which is a nice change of pace because usually the fucking AI is no help whatsoever. So this castle is about to fall. There it goes. I wonder if I have a 10th center hiding in the very back corner. Or not. Do I have a castle? I sure don't. Not that I really needed one now. Not when these guys are supplying the siege equipment, or an ally supplying the siege equipment. The market's probably one because they can technically train a villager. Maybe.
The Turkish invaders have been pushed back once and for all.
There we go. That should be it. Yeah.
Dracula achieved victory at last, and the invaders fled before him. Rallying his men, he charged the enemy ranks with an unspeakable vengeance that emboldened his army. A decisive victory was near, but it was at that hour that Dracula's love ran out.
Oh shit.
A volley of arrows whistled through the air and struck Dracula in the chest, knocking him from his horse. The Turks easily routed our leaderless forces, and our chance to drive them out vanished. The occupation resumed, and the survivors despair. The memory of a great man endures forever. As a token of gratitude, I invited our host to join us in a pilgrimage to the monastery at Snagaf to pay our respects to Dracula's grave. Tears running down his face, the elderly man could do naught but nod in reply.
It looks like this dude's gonna come with us. Or not. I guess that was the end. That was the end. I guess there is no more last mission. That was it. Oh, here we go. I thought we were going to have, the typical 6 missions, but looks like, I guess, makes sense. He dies, so then the story kind of ends. And it's wrapped up nicely. They'll go on and honor him with the pilgrimage. So, there you go. That was Vlad Dracula's campaign. Not quite the vampire-y stuff that some of the stuff or the Dracula story gets based on, but the real story, the real stuff was in there, I'm sure, or some of it anyways. So yeah, that was the Vlad Dracula campaign, and I think with that we're gonna take a break from Age of Empires 2. I know there's still tons of campaigns in here, a bunch that I don't even know, haven't even heard of. Saladin was in the very first one, but these 3 were part of this African Kingdoms campaign, it says. So those are entirely new. The Pachacudi? Pashakudi? I don't know. Asia, there's a bunch here that are new. There's just a bunch of new shit that we could explore. Oh boy. That would be interesting. It's kind of like the other side. It's not Genghis Khan and his Mongol horde, but it's like during the Mongol horde. And this guy's trying to gather up his farm buddies and defend his land. 1277, 1282. So I guess this was after Genghis's time, but the Mongols are still warring. Sorry, side note, sidetracked, squirrel, whatever you want to say. Yeah, so there's still tons to explore here, and like I said, we probably will end up revisiting it at some point, but kind of burn out on it, honestly. I mean, it's still fun, but you get doing one thing too much all the time. And you switch it up every now and then, keep things fresh, keep things interesting. So we'll take a little break from Age of Empires 2, all the story stuff. I'm sure if this reaches anyone and you're starving for Age of Empires 2 content, there is tons out there. I'm sure people have played story modes of this, or like all these story campaigns already. And if you're more interested into the competitive multiplayer side, there's a bunch of that. It's still very popular, still very competitive to this day. So, excuse me. So there's still tons of Age of Empires 2 content out there. And Age of Empires 4 is coming just around the corner, so there'll probably be a bunch of content on that. We're going to move on. I think I know what I want to play next for a little while. So we'll get to it tomorrow. Anyways, guys, that will do it for today. I'd like to thank you so much for tuning in. If you want to help out the channel, you can like, subscribe, comment, do any and all of those things if you enjoyed the video today. And as we say up here in Canada, peace out!